Hey folks, so I wanted to talk a little bit today about casting websites, specifically Casting Call Pro. I'm going to do a bit on each of the casting websites I've used, but there are a couple of things that have kind of prompted me to record some thoughts on this, especially as somebody who's casting a play, how it is to use casting websites. Because I've used casting websites from the other side as an actor, and I know some of the frustrations involved in that. But there are obviously frustrations involved in being on the other side as well, and I don't know whether it would be of any use to anybody, but I'm going to record them anyway, and to heck with it. So Casting Call Pro is... I used it last year for Alice's Adventures, and I'm using it this year along with a few other casting websites. Now, Casting Call Pro doesn't charge people for posting a job, which is kind of the first problem I have with it. Now, that sounds a bit odd, but if you look at the way other industries deal with their recruitment, generally speaking, it's the companies who have got the jobs who are the ones who end up paying. Or, so, you know, Company A pays jobs website and to post an ad. Or maybe the jobs website is ad supported, or in the case of the government one, then it's funded and there's no problem there. But in very, very few situations, I mean very few, none that I can think of in traditional industries, do the workers, the people who need the jobs, pay to access the postings, which is kind of odd when you think about it. The theatre, this industry that we're kind of involved in, is one of the only industries that does that. It seems a bit off-kilter, but that's the industry as it stands. I have no idea of how that can be changed or anything like that, so whatever. But so that's the first problem here, the first sort of quirk of these websites. The second quirk of these websites is it's really difficult to target specifically with Casting Call Pro, it's really difficult to target your job or your casting call to a particular group of people. So for me, I'm looking for people in the northwest, particularly people Merseyside area, because it's relatively low paying. It does pay, and it pays minimum wage, but it's kind of low paying. So I don't particularly want people from London applying, because they're not going to make anything on the show. If they want to apply and they've got a base up here, somewhere they can stay, and they're happy to not make any money and they still want to be seen, fine, I'll see them. That's not a problem. But it would be nice if were able to target those ads a bit better. At the moment you can put Northwest, but anybody seems free to ignore it, and the number of applications you get from London or Cornwall or Dublin or whatever, it's a bit disappointing. So there's that. The biggest problem though I have with Casting Call Pro is that for casting theatre, especially when you don't care about whether somebody, what somebody's background is, what they look like, because specifically for this project, I don't. And it was kind of the same last year with Alice's Adventures. I didn't really mind what people looked like too much, as long as they could act. I'm after the best actor. Now, the way Casting Call handles the applications you get, Casting Call Pro, the way they handle the applications you get, is that you will get a list of people for all of the jobs. So you'll get an email every time somebody applies, but you'll get a list of people for the job. Now you can sort this list, which is really handy, but the ways you can sort it is not. So you can sort these applications in a couple of ways. You can limit it to just looking at the headshot. You can limit it to looking at all of their pictures. You can limit it to looking at their details, as in how old they are, what height they are, blah, blah, blah. And you can limit it to looking just at their cover letters. Now, the cover letters one, I'll grant you, is pretty handy. If you're casting for film, I can imagine the details and the headshots are really useful. But for theatre, where you're only looking for the best actor, what I want to be able to search for is CV. What jobs have they done? What education have they got? What is the best, what makes them good for this role? Now, cover letters are a difficult one. You can't get all that from cover letters, because some people just don't write good cover letters. Some people write atrocious cover letters, but I'm going to cover that maybe in another one of these diaries, because I think it bears thinking about another time. But I would love it if one of these casting websites had the ability to sort somebody, or just view for each application the last 5 jobs that somebody did, because that would be great. That would give me an idea when their last 5 jobs were, what companies they were with, what roles they were. It would give me an idea of stuff they've done. Equally, education. You know, did they train at LIPA? Did they train at UCLan? To be honest, it really doesn't bother me too much where somebody trained. If they trained, that's great. That's useful information, but it doesn't really factor in. I'd rather be able to see their experience. And it worries me slightly that you can look at headshots, you can look at their details, that you can look at all the pictures they've got, and the cover letters, because you're not seeing an actor at their best. You've got no idea how good an actor they are. Literally, what Casting Call does is ask you to choose the people that you think are suitable for your role based on physical appearance. Now, that to me seems completely off, especially as every time I look at the stage or look at, specifically with my Facebook feed, I look at a list of actors who are posting articles about how we need more equality in theatre. I'm not going to disagree. It would be great if we could have a truly diverse theatre that was representative of the country. That would be fantastic. But if we are using companies like Casting Call Pro to advertise our shows, that is going to make our jobs an awful lot harder. And I think it's going to make our jobs an awful lot harder because it limits you to being able to sort people by just their physical attributes. That is a problem for me. That's something that I don't think it allows us to cast the best actors. Because immediately, as soon as you see somebody's headshot, you're making an impression. What I would prefer is to be able... I mean, you do the same with a cover letter, but again, cover letters are slightly different. I would love to be able to see their CVs. I would love to be able to judge them on their CVs, their work alone. Because if I could, it'd make things so much easier. And I think it would allow us to be a bit more fair, a bit more equal in how we're casting these shows. I don't know what anybody else feels. I don't know. Maybe I am completely wrong. I am quite often. But for this project, for me right now, as a director, this seems wrong. It seems off. Casting Call is the best way I can manage to get my adverts out there, along with social media and other casting websites. Maybe one day I'll have a list of thousands of actors that I can just email and get applications that way. But for now, I'm stuck with using the systems that exist. And the systems that exist, I don't think they're fair to actors, and I really don't think they do justice for the directors who are looking for the best actors for the job. And if you're looking only based on physical appearance, fine. I'm sure these casting websites will be great for you. I don't think that helps equal and accurate representation in theatre or in any industry where we use casting calls. So, yeah, a bit of a negative. I mean, Casting Call is great for a lot of things, but in this particular instance, I don't think it's great. And hopefully I've explained why. It hasn't just been a rant against Casting Call. There are limitations there. They exist probably mainly because a lot of castings are there for film. I get that. But if you're casting for theatre, it doesn't make it as easy for you. Anyway, bye for now. Thanks for watching.